Every heart has a story. Some are written with laughter. Others are written with loss. And every once in a while, life brings two strangers together, not because they need to be rescued, but because they remind each other what hope feels like. Welcome to StoryMun. If stories that touch your heart are the kind you never forget, become part of our family by subscribing. We'd also love to know where you're watching from, so leave a comment below. Now, let's step into today's story. The first time I met Hannah Brooks, she was arguing with the cashier over a $5 bag of dog food. Not because she couldn't afford it, because an elderly man standing behind her in line was quietly putting it on his bill. "I can pay for my own things," she said firmly. The old man smiled awkwardly. "I was only trying to help." "I don't need help." She picked up the bag and walked out before anyone could say another word. I remember thinking, some people don't push others away because they're cold. They do it because they've been disappointed too many times. 2 weeks later, I found myself standing outside Hannah's little house in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm Ethan Carter. I repair old fences and porches for a living. A storm had damaged the wooden railing around her front porch, and her elderly neighbor asked if I'd take a look. Hannah opened the door just enough to see me. "I'm not hiring anyone." "I'm not asking you to." She frowned. "Then why are you here?" "Because Mrs. Wilson next door worries someone might get hurt." She sighed before stepping aside. "Fine, but don't expect coffee." I laughed. "I'll survive." While replacing the broken boards, I noticed something strange. The house was spotless. The garden was beautiful, but every family photograph had been turned face down. I didn't ask why. Some stories introduce themselves when they're ready. Others need patience. When I finished, Hannah handed me an envelope. I counted the money. It was almost double. "You paid too much." "I don't like owing people." I removed the extra bills and placed them back on the porch table. "You don't owe me anything." For the first time, she smiled. It was small, almost invisible, but it was there. The following Saturday, I found groceries sitting outside Mrs. Wilson's door. No name, no note, just food. The next week, someone quietly fixed a broken swing at the neighborhood park before sunrise. Again, no one knew who had done it. Then one morning, I caught Hannah planting flowers outside the community library. She looked embarrassed. "I don't like attention," I noticed. She smiled. "I just don't like people thinking kindness means I need something back." Months later, over coffee on her porch, she finally told me the truth. 3 years earlier, she'd lost both her parents within 6 months. The relatives she'd trusted disappeared the moment the funeral ended. Friends slowly stopped calling. She learned to survive by depending on no one. "If I never need anyone," she whispered, "they can never leave." I looked at the woman who had secretly spent months helping strangers while convincing herself she had to face life alone. Then I quietly said, "Hannah." She looked up. "You don't have to carry everything anymore." She looked away. "I've forgotten how." I reached across the table and gently held her hand. "You won't have to remember by yourself." A tear slipped down her cheek. "I've been alone for so long." I smiled. "No, you've only been waiting for someone who wasn't going to walk away." A year later, the little porch where she'd once refused a free bag of dog food was filled with neighbors sharing homemade pie, children laughing in the yard, and Mrs. Wilson insisting everyone take home leftovers. Hannah caught my hand beneath the table. "You know what scares me now?" "What?" She laughed. "Not being alone anymore." I squeezed her hand. "Good, because you never will be." Funny, isn't it? We often believe the strongest people are the ones who never ask for help. But sometimes, the strongest thing a person can do is finally believe they don't have to face tomorrow alone. Maybe love isn't about rescuing someone. Maybe it's simply sitting beside them long enough that they begin to believe they're worth staying for. If today's story found a place in your heart, tell us in the comments. What's one act of kindness you'll never forget? Someone reading your answer tomorrow may need that reminder. Thank you for spending these moments with StoryMun. Until next time, take care of the people who quietly insist they're fine. Sometimes, those are the hearts waiting most patiently to hear, You're not alone anymore.